All right guys, it's 2023. We're here on the range. We caught a great day for this. We're gonna do another what's in the bag. I have so many things to show you here. We've got new finishes on the wedges. We've got new drivers. We've got a couple special things in the pockets. Every year it's something new. And we're gonna be using the Rapsoso Mobile Launch Monitor to get some distances. We're gonna hit some shots. We're gonna cover it all. Let's dig in right now. So like I said, although we do a what's in the bag every year, it's one of my favorite videos to make, honestly, all year, because it's able to kind of go through and really look at everything holistically, because a lot of changes happen. And that is the truth once again. And the first one of the biggest changes I've made in a long time is with the wedges. We did a full wedge fitting at Glen Arbor with Kevin Sprecher. Always learn something new when we do the wedges. And there's something new here. There's something definitely very new. And the one starting right at the bottom is with my 60. New from Vokey, the low bounce K grind. And I was in a K grind before. I loved my 60 that I had previous to this. But again, sometimes with fittings, it's just fine tuning and taking advantage of the new equipment that's out here. And this low bounce is just something that I'm able to use this club so much more in so many more spots. Whereas previously it was just a bunker splash club for me. Now the versatility, I'm using it in so many different places. But one thing you'll notice is the rusting on this. I wanted to go in the black finish across all my wedges. And I'm gonna show you and tell you why in just a second. But I will say this club, unfortunately, it was so new. Like when I first got it, when it came out, that finish was not available. So it was the natural finish and it's rusting. But I'll tell you what, I am growing to love that rusted look more and more. So I've got the black finish and the rusted finish, but this club, it's so much more versatile. You can see that huge sole there, the low bounce. It just gives me the confidence I need to hit this club in so many more spots. So yeah, so when we did the fitting, we got a little kick out of the LBK, low bounce K. And so we got that stamped right on there. We did some custom stamping, but this is the one that I want to definitely talk to you guys about. The 52 degree in the F grind, as well as the 48 degree in the F grind. The 52 remains my most used club in the entire bag. I use this just about everywhere around the greens. And one thing I wanted to do, and the promise that I made to you guys when I got this, is I said I want to get the black finish, not only because I love it, but because one of the comments that we get very often is asking, how well does it really last? It looks great out of the box, but does it last? So I said, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna put it in play, and I'll report back to you guys regularly on the wear of that black finish. And one thing I'm happy to report is that it has really exceeded my expectations. If you look at it, there's definitely some wear on the face, no doubt about it, but I can tell you that I've put hundreds of shots into this club over the past almost year or so. And over that time, for it to still be this black is just incredible to me. And I will tell you, looking down as I'm about to hit these wedges, I absolutely love the way the black fits my eye. I'm going to be using this black finish in my wedges going forward. I kept the stamping very simple with some skulls, wanted to keep it really clean. I couldn't be more happy with the way this club came out. So all the wedges are SM9s and they've just been fantastic for me this year. All right, we're just gonna set up the Rapsoso Mobile Launch Monitor because I wanna hit a couple clubs for you here, take you through some of the stuff that's been there and some of the stuff that's brand new. All right, so if you watched last year's What's in the Bag, one thing that is not new are the T200 irons. I've got them through the bag except for the 4-iron. I did a whole separate video on my U505. I love that club, but since I did a whole separate video on that, I'll just link to that in the video description so you guys can check that out. We'll briefly touch on it because I wanna get to some of the new stuff in there. But first, of course, gotta show love for my T200s. These clubs have been fantastic for me. Lots of forgiveness where I need it and more distance than I was ever getting with any other set of irons. Plus, maybe I'm just biased, I think they're the prettiest ones I've ever had. So I've got the 7-iron in hand, got the Rapsoso fired up. Let's give you one shot with this one before we dig into some of the new stuff in there. Oh, and of course, one thing I always like to be a little bit of a test subject, and if I can tell you guys the good with the bad here, one thing I will say that I would have done differently, the white on the grips. I liked the look of the two-tone grips, but the white shows off a lot of dirt. So if you're deciding to go with white grips, they do require a lot of regular cleaning. I think next time around, I might go with a different color other than white, but that is literally the only thing I would change. And remember, just like the last time, Project LZ, 115 gram shafts. Love these shafts, they're the same as my last set. If it works, just keep it going. That's what I've learned. Not a bad little 7-iron, straight into that wind. 157. Usually this club for me is really my 160, 165 club if we're not into the wind, but I like that. Again, just super reliable clubs for me. They look good, they play good. I can't ask for more than that. All right, I do have to show some quick love for the U505. So this is the only thing in there in the irons that is not in the T200s. This is the utility club. Again, I did a whole video on it, but the one thing I do want to point out was the consistency. These TENSEI blue shafts, you're gonna see those all the way through. I've done many, many fittings. Even in the fittings, knowing how much I love this shaft, we still have tested other shafts, but it always comes back to the TENSEI blue for me, which is just reconfirming it and just gives me more confidence it's the right thing for me. So let's hit this 4-iron U505. And the one thing, of course, I love about the utility, that huge wide sole, it's almost like a hybrid in its head size, but it still retains that iron look and feel. Just gives that forgiveness where you need it in these low lofted irons, helps me get that ball up in the air, and really does help on long par 3s where I need to get it high enough that it can land soft. That's one thing I love about this club. Whew, look at how high I get that club. Not a lot of distance out of it, 190, but it's because we're going right into the wind right now. But again, the height is so important to me, especially the use for this. Again, for me, when it comes to something I've learned in fittings, it's not how far you hit each club, it's the use of each club and making sure that it fits how you play the game. And for me, the most important thing with this was the height that I needed to use it on those long par 3s. Because sure, we all like to boast about our distances, but the scorecard, it all comes down to getting on those greens and staying on those greens. So that's a huge focus for all of these, and we'll link to all those fitting videos down below if you want to dive into each one to see the thinking behind them. All right, one thing I'm not gonna hit for you right here is the hybrid, because you know why? I've hit it to death here on the channel because it has consistently been one of my favorite clubs since putting it in the bag. This is the TSI. However, there are 2 new clubs that we gotta put a focus on here. The TSR 3-wood and TSR Driver. And you better believe if and when Titleist comes out with a TSR hybrid, I'm gonna be there first in line to get fit for it, because I have just had so much success with these hybrids, and I was hitting my TSI 3-wood fantastically, far better than any 3-wood I've hit before. In fact, I've struggled with other 3-woods. I've talked about that in previous What's in the Bags. The R, though, gave me so much more, even more gains than I covered with my TSR Driver. The 3-wood was a real standout for me, and I was fortunate enough to get fit for this at TPI, Titleist Performance Institute in California, which was an experience like I've never experienced before. And if anybody has the opportunity to get fit out there, it is truly something different, truly revolutionary. But what was the difference with this club was ball speed, ball speed, ball speed. I'll say it again and again. I came out of my fitting with this getting, on the higher end, not average across the board, but on the higher end, I was getting more ball speed out of this than in my previous driver, if that tells you anything. And one thing, as I play this game more and more and I learn it, I put more and more of a value on taking the ego aside and just getting more fairways. So the amount that I've been using this off the tee, when we play tighter golf courses, which we play often, and putting the driver away and just finding the fairway with this, it's so important to me that I'm still getting the distance. When I need my fairways, that's when I pull this out. I absolutely love it. Again, TENSEI blue, there's that same shaft. So let's hit this one here and I'll show you what I mean. Obviously these are range balls. They might be a little bit dead, not trying to make excuses, but I want to see what kind of ball speed I can get here. Whew, hit that about as good as I can hit it. So there you go, 143 on the ball speed. It absolutely just jumps off the face of this club. When I need a fairway, this puppy is what's coming out of the bag. The big dog. We're gonna pull it out right now, but first, I know everybody's peeking in here and they're seeing this. First of all, I have spent more time working on my game this year than in any previous year. I've been committed to it at home and everywhere else. So you see a couple training aids in here. I've got my alignment sticks. I use those often. And the other thing, a lot of you probably know, I struggle with a little bit of a bad back. Loosening up is important to me. So I've got the trusty orange whip that I'll swing often. So that's what those two are. We got to get into the putter, of course, in a second. And there's some stuff in the bag that I want to dive into, including a brand new rangefinder. Like I said, it's a little something special. You're going to see that. But first, let's talk about the TSR2. Okay, so the TSR2, the story kind of continues with this. I loved my TSI, but I'm always gonna test the new equipment and see what more I can get. And the truth was, again, ball speed. Ball speed was such a big focus. They talked about it at Titleist when we were at TPI getting fit, and it was the reality. And one thing, I don't wanna just say ball speed just in the center of the face. For me, as somebody who hits it all over the face, what was so important to me was that I'm picking up tremendous ball speed even on mishits. So it's not just ball speed, it's ball speed on mishits, and that's what me as a mid-handicapper really wants to see. But my ball speed definitely jumped up. It took a great club in my bag and made it even better. So we're gonna dial up the Rapsoso here and we're gonna hit one for you. Such a great sounding club. First swing there, 152 ball speed. Again, not even fully warmed up and not an absolutely perfect strike. 242 carry. You guys know I don't play a big distance game. If I can find a fairway, 242 carry, roll out 260, I am very happy and it puts me in a position to get that green. I want to see if I can get a little more ball speed. I'm trying to find a ball in this stack of pinnacles that's not completely dead to see if we can do that for you. But let's hit one more. Dead straight. I love that ball flight. 154 ball speed, 254 carry with a range ball. I'll take that all day and all night. Let's put this away and get into what's in these pockets. All right, of course, we gotta talk about the putter before we dive into the pockets, right? And this is, I wanna say kind of new, but kind of not. The reason I say that is I got the Scotty camera a couple years ago. I had kind of fooled around with it a little bit, tried it in different spots, but I was using my Bettinardi for quite some time. If you watch the last couple of what's in the bags, it was the Bettinardi. But again, talked about really putting a focus on improving my game. Last winter, maybe it was just me being lazy and not taking the whole bag out, I just had this putter in the office with me and I would putt with it a lot. It started to feel better and I started making more and more putts. So I said in the spring, let me take it out on the course and see, because I put so much use into it. And I just started making putts. And I made some big putts in our trip out to Whistling Straits. So it's just been really working well for me. So I've kept it in the bag. The Bettinardi is home on the side for now. And this has really been the club for me. But I'm gonna tell you what I like so much about it. And as somebody who struggles a bit with this putting stroke, I have the Squareback, the Scotty Cameron Select Squareback. And what I like about this, it's got a little more meat to it. So it's somewhere between a mallet and a blade. So I'm not going full mallet, but I'm getting a little bit more meat to it there. That gives me a little bit able to put a little bit more of a straight stroke on it. I am not gonna sit here and tell you guys that I love putting and I'm an excellent putter. You guys know if you watch the channel, I struggle with it often, but this has been a better year for me. So I've been very confident liking this club and I'm sure we can dial it in even more. I'm not fit for it just yet. That is still an opportunity that I have to get to, but I've been putting better. So, you know, as long as they're going in the hole, this is staying in the bag. So this has been the putter for me all season long and will continue to be, at least for the foreseeable future. All right, the joke that everyone seems to love when they see this bag next to Mike's bag is they say, hey Mike, is that your wife's bag? If I've had a dime for every time I've heard that joke, because I went with the coral accents. And guys, I mean, if you know me, I love a coral. I have a coral hat that I wear often. I like it and I have no regrets whatsoever. I love the color scheme of this Titleist 4+ StaDry bag and it just fits my personality. People can pick on me all you want. I love the coral accents and I'm gonna continue to love them. But anyway, the other thing that we really liked about this, Mike went to the StaDry bag as well. You guys know we play in all types of weather. And the other thing too is it's not just clubs often that we keep in the bag and other things like that. We're out there filming. A lot of camera gear and things like that come with us, batteries, things like that. So having a bag that I can be very confident that everything is going to stay dry has been so important to me. And I love these zippers, the way they lock and you can see all the waterproofing here on the zippers has just been incredible. I can keep things in there. I'm confident. I know it'll stay dry. We travel a lot and there are just loads of pockets. So this has been so great for me since putting this into play about halfway through last season. And yeah, I love the colors. You guys can say whatever you want in the comments. I love the color. All right, so digging in, first dangling off the bag here, Precision Pro NX10 rangefinder. This has been the go-to rangefinder, and you could tell it's been the go-to because of the abuse it's taken. Dropped it a few times, yep. I guess butterfingers, whatever. But the Golficity rangefinder, enjoy the game on there. We've done full reviews on this. We've talked about it a lot, so I won't say too much here other than the fact that absolutely love it, absolutely rely on it. It is fast, it's reliable, slope, everything, and to me, it's the best looking rangefinder in the game. And that's not just because of our sleeve. These are removable. You can customize this however you want. Love everything about this. It has been old faithful for me. Now let's just run through these real quick because there's a couple things that are just really important to me. On this side, I always, again, all the theme is we play in all different weather. I keep my winter gloves in here. I keep a pair of rain gloves in here, but my go-to glove I keep over here. My absolute favorite glove, the FootJoy Stay Soft. I love how this one feels, and on those hotter summer days, I switch over the HyperFlex, a little bit more breathability. One little thing that I'll say, it's a little pet peeve of mine, I order the small. I like this thing skin tight. It takes a little bit, especially a freshie, to work it on, not gonna lie, maybe a little bit of an OJ thing going there, but once it's on, my pet peeve, I can't have any slack in my glove. If I do and I feel like it's loose and moving around, I feel like I don't have good contact with the club. I love a good tight glove. This is tight, but it's got that stretch to it. It's not restrictive, so I like it nice and tight. I go with the small, and that's the glove for me on a daily basis, and I always keep an extra in there just in case one gets a little bit too beat up. But real quick, running back at it, this pocket, I keep a couple of things. Again, it all comes down to that weather. I keep this hydro knit in case I get caught in a rainstorm that I wasn't expecting. It is the lightest thing that I own. I mean, the wind will take it away if I let it go. But that's nice and easy in that pocket. And then another thing, I actually was wearing it before, but I've got for the colder, today, especially in this type of weather, it can bounce back and forth. I'll grab it over here. I've got my Thermo series, which I had put on earlier this morning. So I like to keep something warm and something dry, keeping me nice and dry in that pocket. And then in here, just tees, things like that. I've got kind of the same ball marker that I've been using forever. I'm gonna dig around for it in here. If you guys watch the channel, you know what I'm looking for. I keep her in a safe spot, hold on, right in the bottom. I don't think any one person has played with the same tee longer than I have. We were playing Sleepy Hollow this year, and I found this tee from Michael Jordan's course, The Grove. And I have been using it ever since. It has become my lucky tee, and it is a mad hunt on the tee box when this thing goes flying. So, yeah, I'm the guy who's got a lucky tee. I've worn all of the markings off of it. It said The Grove, but this is my tee, all right? So that's where she goes. Hey, no. Many have tried to steal it from me. It's staying right there. All right, so a couple more things. Here's where I keep all those extra gloves. I also keep my shot scope in here. So for all of my stat tracking, I will put this on, wear it while I'm out there. You guys have we've talked about this extensively, how important it is to make sure you really understand your game. What I like is this is so hands-off. I just go out and play. You probably noticed it as I was pulling them out, the little tags on the end of each club. What that does is it works with the watch to tag via GPS every shot that I take out there, and I can go back, look at them, and see where I'm missing the greens, where I'm missing fairways, and it really helps me digest my game. Don't have to think about it while I'm playing. I can go pull up my dashboard after the fact. All the info's there. So shot scope stays there, nice and charged, ready to go. In here, this whole pocket is balls, and playing, of course, the Titleist Pro V1, got the G logo on there. Got fit for these recently. Absolutely love this ball. As I play more and more golf, I realize how important feel is for me. I'm so used to this. It's a comfort thing. It's a confidence thing. I feel this ball. I know whether it's on the greens, off the greens. I love the feel. So it's just something I've just doubled down on. It's the only ball I play now for that reason. But like I said, with fittings, everything's always on the table. If there's something new that comes out, if I'm gonna get refit, I'm always willing to try new things. But right now, this is where I'm super confident. Anyway, that's everything we have in the bag, guys. Thanks for sticking along with this one. And don't forget, guys, don't forget to subscribe, because there could be new irons this year. There could be new balls. There could be a lot of new things. Like I said, as much as I love what I have here, if something new comes out, you guys know we're gonna test it, not only for ourselves, but for you guys. So make sure you subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.